Joining us this morning is South Carolina Congressman Mark Sanford. Congressman, this is a big Christmas gift to the American people. What are you hearing from the businesses in the state of South Carolina about how they're going to spend their tax cuts?
Well, I just got home late last night, so I wouldn't say that I've had a lot of conversations with folks at home since the bill passed the House and the Senate. But what I'd say anecdotally is they expect to do the obvious, which is if you have more money in your pocket, whether as an individual or as a business, you use it. And in the business sense, you invest it. That's what I've consistently heard throughout this debate from businesses here at home.
Congressman, it's Guy Benson. I'm curious about something that the president just tweeted, talking about infrastructure being next on the agenda. Look, I'm all for this tax bill. It will add some amount of money to deficits, probably hundreds of billions of dollars. We can dispute how much. But if the next agenda item is a giant spending bill on infrastructure, at what point do we get to fiscal restraint? Do we ever get there from the Republican Party?
We better, because what this bill represented, the tax bill that is, was to say we're going to cap out relative to the size of the overall economy what government takes from you and me and businesses and individuals across this country. Our problem has been on spending, and so we've been, taking in about 18% of GDP. We've been spending about 20. The numbers over the next 10 years are projected to rise to about 23.5%. If we don't get our arms around spending, we will have profound problems. And so the idea of tapping it off with an unpaid infrastructure bill, I think, would be a huge problem.
Congressman, it's Pete Hegseth. So talking about this tax bill and talking about an infrastructure bill, you just explained it a little bit, but at what point do we get to a place where Republicans or anyone are able to restrain that spending? Are we going to have to hit a crash? Is something bad going to happen? What's it going to take?
Well, I hope not. I mean, the hope of this tax bill, there are two ways of dealing with the debt issue. One is by cutting spending, which we have to do. The other is by growing the economy. And the premise of this bill was, if you look at the Congressional Budget Office numbers, what they project is that over the next 10 years, our economy would grow at 1.8%. And the premise of this bill was that we could bump up a bit of growth, probably not as grand as some have suggested, so that you have more in the way of cushion. Because if you don't, think about this. Not so many years ago, about 2007, we were at 35% debt to GDP. We're currently about 77%. Without the tax bill, we go to 91% debt to GDP based on present trends in spending. We will go up to 96% with the tax bill, a 5-point difference. Either way, if you get to 90% debt to GDP, you have profound problems. And so, we are at a tipping point as a civilization. We have got to get spending under control.
Yeah, but Congressman, getting spending under control means tackling entitlements. 80% of the growth in spending in this country over the next 10 years comes from health care, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, and interest on the debt. And Mitch McConnell is unlikely to push for Social Security and Medicare changes next year, 2018.
Well, again, I'd go back to what I guess it was Churchill. Churchill observed, the beauty of the American political system is that it always does the right thing, after it's exhausted every other possible remedy. And I think that there's been a lot of denial on the need to address exactly what you raised, which is entitlement spending. But the math is absolutely compelling, and we've, in essence, sealed the need to do so with the tax bill. You can argue for or against the tax bill, but again, what it did was fundamentally hold constant what government has been taking in as a percentage of the economy for about 50 years. The part that is in play is on spending. We will have to address entitlements.
So the math would suggest, of course, that we have to get something done, but the electoral map and the elections that have to happen next year would suggest that it's going to be really hard to get that done because this is going to be so wildly unpopular. So how do you sell it to the American people and stay in office?
Well, I mean, for instance, I have a bill called the Penny Plan, and it says, one of the problems we have in Washington right now is it's Republicans versus Democrats, South versus North, you name the different faction, and everybody feels like they're in their own boat. And yet, if you look at the challenges that were met at the time of World War II, people rose to the occasion because they all felt like they were in the boat together. So the Penny Plan says, if you took just a penny, 1 penny of spending from the government coffers for each of the next 5 years, you would have a balanced budget. It puts everybody in the same boat together. And I think that until you do that, people say, well, I got to protect mine as long as you're protecting yours.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying take 1 penny off of every dollar spent. Is that the plan?
Correct. What it does is it puts into effect what Einstein was once asked, what's the most powerful force in the universe? His reply was compound interest. It puts into effect the power of compounding in limiting government as opposed to growing government.
So just on a follow-up, though, the leader of the party right now is the president. And the president campaigned on not touching some of these really big programs that we've been talking about here. So I agree. The math that you just ran through, you called it compelling. I'm on board with you. I'm not sure the president finds it compelling. And if he's at the tip of the spear of the agenda, that's, I guess, where I'm concerned. Is this a realistic political possibility in a tough election year for Republicans, plus a president who is lukewarm at best on this idea?
All I'd say is that the president has proven to be rather elastic on any number of different issues. That's where fair. He made pledges or commitments. And so I think that he is a business guy, and it would be my hope that he would look at those numbers and he would say, well, you know, I thought this going in, but if you look at the numbers, they're absolutely rock solid. We have to do something, because if not, the financial markets will do it for us. And the history of these things,
listen,
Congressman, if the markets do it for...
I know, but the problem is, I've been talking about this literally since the financial crisis, is watch the yield on the 10-year Treasury. How much does it cost to borrow in this country? Right now, it costs the United States less than 2.5% annually to borrow money for 10 years, roughly. The yield on the 10-year Treasury is below 2.5%. Again, until there is some skyrocketing of mortgage of longer-term interest rates, nobody in D.C. is going to do a doggone thing. And you quote Einstein and Churchill, well, they're not running the government. That's what the problem is.